Wellness Hour is going to be on forest bathing, or what is known as Shinrin yoku. Um, so I'm just going to wait a second to see if anyone logs on to watch, and then we'll get started, okay? And again, today's Wellness Hour is for this forest bathing or Shinrin yoku. A little bit of a mouthful today. Okay. All right. So hello, everyone. I am Sarah, and I'm a Master's of Social Work Practicum student with Lori at the Attachment and Treatment Trauma Treatment Center for Healing, ATTCH Niagara. Um, we'll just wait just a few moments just to see if anyone else joins. If you are watching live, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, and I'll just give a few seconds for that, and then I'll get started. All right. Okay, let's get started. So first off, I'd like to acknowledge the land that I'm on today. I live in Cassidy, BC on Vancouver Island, and I am working on the Coast Salish territories of both the Snuneymuxw First Nation and the Snuneymuxw First Nation. I'd also like to acknowledge that ATTCH Niagara is in St. Catharines, Ontario, on the Treaty 3 territory of both the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe First Nations. I would like to thank these nations as well as all the other territories that have brought us here together today. Thanking them all for allowing us to live, laugh, learn, and love on their territories. I'd also like to thank you all for being here today, really to receive this opportunity for learning and developing your own personal wellness. So I thank and honor you all for that. Um, and okay, so let's do a grounding exercise before we dip into forest bathing or Shinrin yoku. So I invite you to plant both of your feet on the ground. Feel the ground under your feet. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. If it doesn't, just a dull gaze downward works well as well. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And one more time. Keep up this relaxation breathing throughout this grounding exercise. Begin to feel the muscles in your face relax as you breathe. Allow the tension in your shoulders to release. Feel the back of the chair supporting your back. Feel the seat of your chair supporting your body. Allow your body to relax into it. Remembering to breathe. Feel the muscles in your legs begin to relax. And again, feel the floor beneath you, under your feet. Take one more deep breath in and out. When you are ready, open your eyes and come back. And let me know when you're back and how you're feeling if you feel comfortable. Okay, so today we are exploring what is called forest bathing or Shinrin yoku. Much of the information I'm sharing today has been adapted from the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy and their website, natureandforesttherapy.org. This website is also linked to this video, so after this live stream or whenever you watch this video, feel free to have a deeper look if this is a subject that interests you. So we're going to start off with a brief history on forest bathing. So, forest bathing was first developed in the early 1980s in Japan. The term Shinrin yoku in Japanese literally means to bathe in the forest, hence the concept of forest bathing. The intention behind it is for us humans to get back to nature, and the hope is to promote personal healing through being mindful in nature. It is not a hike or a jog in this environment, but it is a time of connection to the natural world and a disconnection from the modern society. Uh, it should be noted that this concept has been practiced through many cultures traditionally, as well as currently for healing and wellness. This practice also has science behind it that we are going to dive into. And I just want to say, hey, Silvana, it's good to see you. All right, so let's look at the science of forest bathing. So, forest bathing, first and foremost, has been proven as a stress reset. So, this means that one of the proven benefits from taking a 40-minute walk in the forest is linked to a more positive mood and better wellness overall, both physically and mentally. This is primarily because of the stress hormone cortisol decreasing during this practice. Through the lowering of stress, this can reduce symptoms such as anxiety, depression, heart disease, weight gain, as well as improve both memory and cognitive function. So, and this quote is directly from the website. So they say that leisurely forest walks compared with urban walks show a 12.4% decrease in the stress hormone cortisol, a 7% decrease in sympathetic nerve activity, and a 1.4% decrease in blood pressure, as well as a 5.8% decrease in heart rate. So those are all pretty good percentages. And it's kind of neat that there is this kind of data collected. We sometimes don't see that, but it's neat to see that there is such a movement and science is getting really behind this practice. Forest bathing can also be boost immune functioning. So, stress hormones are known to compromise immune defense. And through that defense, sorry. Through that decreasing of the hormones through this practice, you can boost your immune system strength, which is amazing, especially during this time in the world right now. Research is continually being done on this topic and is still in the preliminary stages, but from what has been collected, there is exciting potential. So, in a nutshell, it just means that there is continued work being done and data collected, and it is really coming out positively. So let's talk about phytosanides. Phytosanides. I've had a hard time saying this word, which I'm going to put the word into the chat right now, just so everyone can see it before I explain it. So these are what the trees use to heal. They are naturally released from evergreen trees, such as pine trees, to protect themselves from rotting from moisture and bugs, for example. This chemical is an all-natural healing balm that also improves human health when in contact. This balm has been linked to improvements in immune functioning. And an interesting fact that I came across is that in the 1800s, physicians actually used this so-called forest cure to treat tuberculosis with some success. So they actually had people with TB go out into the forest and breathing in what the trees were releasing and seeing positive effects. Now we know that it is the phytoncides, again, trouble saying that word, that are creating this health. And it's neat that we can just be around the trees and we are absorbing it through breathing or skin, what have you. Another benefit of forest bathing is that it can kickstart your creativity. So by spending time in nature over an extended time, you can improve your problem-solving abilities and mental performance. This also taps into both sides of your brain, so the left and the right, as your time in the forest is intentional and almost or is or can be meditative. Again, with the decrease in stress hormones and boosted mood, I think too that this is a factor in the improvement of cognition. So when you release that stress, you're able to think more clearly. Another benefit in incorporating this kind of practice is that it is free and highly accessible. Even in the most urban centers, there are access or generally access to trees and nature, even if it's a small green space. If you cannot get out to nature, you can also visualize this. So going onto YouTube, some of the associations that I found for forest bathing also have virtual forest tours. So you can be a part of that as well. So yeah, the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy does provide that you can sign up for. And the link is linked to this video to look at later. You can also do, again, you can do visualizations and even meditation to put you into the forest or into nature if it is not at all possible to go outside. So does anyone have any questions or comments before I move on to the exercise? Okay. Okay, so let's do the exercise. So this is kind of putting what forest bathing is into place. It's not actually the exercise, this is how you do this exercise, is what I should have said. So this part of the presentation's information has been adapted directly from mindful.org, and that has also been linked to this video if you want to explore it further after this live stream. So here are the steps for forest bathing. So 1, you want to find a spot. This doesn't need to be in the deep forest, but in nature nonetheless. 2, engage all of your senses. So touch, smell, sight, sound, and taste. Explore what your senses are experiencing in the moment. 3, don't hurry. Especially in the beginning, start with slowly walking to be really present. You should begin to feel the positive effects after about 20 minutes, and it is recommended to spend as much time as possible in the nature or in the forest. And really, they say 20 minutes or 40 minutes. I've dropped those timelines within this presentation, but really you can only do what's within your limitations and what time you have. And I truly believe that any time in nature can be beneficial to us. So don't get too hung up on those numbers. It's really about doing it so that you feel good, okay? So 4, try doing different activities while forest bathing. So for example, you could try yoga, meditation, or even Tai Chi. And if you don't know how to do any of those, you could even bring that, especially with our smartphones, with you. So whether you're streaming a yoga class through your phone or meditation or Tai Chi, you can also do that digitally, especially looking at this time where we're still social distancing to some extent, and you may not be able to access an instructor or want to be a part of a group at this time. Another activity you could do while you're forest bathing is eat or have a picnic. Really, they say when you eat, you're absorbing what's around you and the information that's being given to you. So it's kind of like tapping in that information, but via having substance brought into your body in that moment. You could also bring a companion or be alone. Study the plants or wildlife around you, or you could even write. And writing could include journal, stories, poetry, whatever, song, whatever really helps get you grounded. And this list is not limited to these activities, but merely suggestions. And the last step to forest bathing is number 5, and it's to appreciate the silence. If you live in a more urban area, you generally are constantly receiving different sounds and are rarely in complete silence. When practicing forest bathing, especially if you're in a forest that's away from the city, I do want to acknowledge that if you're in a green space in the middle of the city, that kind of silence may not um, be there. But if you do have the opportunity to be in complete silence, grab it, and just sit there and really appreciate it. And that silence can be very healing and very good for our personal wellness. Okay, does anyone have any questions about the content that I just shared? Okay, so now we're going to do a guided exercise that is inspired by the practice of forest bathing. So this script has been taken from remedygrove.com and is linked to the video as well, if you'd like to use it in your wellness routine, if it really speaks to you. So let's get started. It's called A Walk Through the Forest. This script will take you down the path through a forest. You can close your eyes and let your imagination fill in all the details as you are guided down the path. The path may look familiar to you, or it may be somewhere you've never been. Close your eyes and imagine that you're standing on the edge of a field. And just remember to practice your relaxation breathing that we did earlier. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, and really taking that time to notice your breathing throughout this, okay? So again, you're standing at the edge of a field. You see a tree line where a forest begins only a few yards away. Just on the other side of the tree line, you see a trail. You walk out of the field towards the path and enter into the woods. The light in the forest cascades down through the leaves in a soft spray of light. The layers of the forest have various textures. The lower undergrowth is soft and green. There are ferns, moss, and small growths reaching toward the light. The upper canopy of the trees covers you like a stained glass roof overhead. The light green leaves against the light blue and white sky create a soft, glowing, ambient light. The light is gentle and soothing. The path you are walking upon winds down a slight hill and curves. It's well trodden, and you continue to follow it. The path is a combination of soil, roots, and small plants, but it is easy to walk upon. Once you round the corner, you see a stream. You continue toward it, admiring the large trees and the different types of bark on each tree trunk. Some of the trees have rough bark, and some have smooth bark. Some have light bark, and others are dark. As you near the stream, you can hear the rippling water sounds getting louder in a constant rhythm. You see the rocks just under the surface of the water. The water swirls and some of it pours over others. You decide to sit upon a large tree that has fallen over, and you slip your shoes off and dip your bare feet into the stream. The water is very cold, but it instantly soothes your feet. As you adjust to the cold, you notice that the water is swirling around and over your feet. As the water massages your feet, you can hear birds chirping. There are several different types of bird sounds that you are hearing. You can also hear the breeze fluttering through the leaves on the trees. You close your eyes and enjoy the sounds. After you rest for a while, enjoying your surroundings, you decide that you are ready to leave. You grab your shoes, put each one on one at a time, and step to the dry bank of the stream. You see the path that brought you here and start back up the hill and around the bend. As you walk back, many of the trees seem familiar. You see the bright entrance to your path up ahead. As you approach the entrance, you stop and linger. You turn around and look down the path, taking note of what you are seeing and hearing. You can visit this special place anytime you'd like to in your mind. Finally, you exit the forest and find yourself in a bright field. Taking a deep breath through your nose and out your mouth. One more breath. And out. Now you can open your eyes and return to your awareness. And if you feel comfortable, please do put in the chat how you're feeling and how that worked for you. Okay. So does anyone have any questions or comments? Again, today we talked about forest bathing or Shinrin yoku. So the act of being in nature and really being present and allowing nature to heal us. And it's kind of that taking time to disconnect from our modern world and really get back to the center of who we are as humans and appreciate the life around us. And like I said, there's a lot of science and a lot of articles around this topic, as well as a lot of guided meditations and recommendations. I did come across in some areas that there are actually groups that participate together in forest bathing. And so it is highly accessible. And again, it's free. And you don't really need a professional to do that with you. You can go into the forest and really take that time to take care of yourself. And just like I just saw Willow commented that she feels very calm. So that's, I think, really the heartbeat of what forest bathing is getting to that calmness and reducing stress and taking care of yourself in that way. And I think in some ways, you know, appreciating that silence and being by yourself is really healing as well. So yeah, so that was our topic today. I do appreciate everyone that tuned in live. Those that are watching this later, thank you as well. Please do stay tuned to our page, ATTCH Niagara Caring Community Connections. I have another gratitude break later on today, and then an evening bedtime gratitude activity, as well as you'll have me all day tomorrow as well. And I promise I will be on time for the morning meditation. But keep tuning in. There's me, my colleagues, May, Connor, and Melanie have also been doing wellness hours and gratitude practices. So lots of tips to find, as well as Lori, who is the brain behind all of this and really bringing it forward onto Facebook. She is constantly putting up stuff, as well as pulling in other practitioners that just have lots of different techniques and tools that can really form your own personal tool belt, or if you're a practitioner, it can help build your skill set. And just know that although we're presenting very many different types of stuff around gratitude, it may not work for you, but there might be something that comes up later that does. Or you could even adapt what we're talking about and make it work for you. It's not strict guidelines, it's kind of a gray area. And it's really about tapping into yourself and finding your own gratitude and really absorbing the information that we are sharing and taking what you need. So, again, thank you all for being here. And yeah, definitely check back later. And in the comments, I do invite, I did this on my last video, people to put suggestions if there is a topic that you are dying to know about, or if you're wanting further information. I'll be around for about the next half hour or so I can answer questions like quite quickly. And after that, I'll be more periodically. And I'll put that in the comment section as well. But I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will be posting again very soon. Thank you again for attending and being a part of this.